All right, just taking a quick look at this new G-Wagon. It's brand new. It's brand new, but it's designed to look like the original, isn't it? Which is over here. The original G-Wagon that they say everybody fell in love with in the 1980s. Now, here's the problem. They're trying to think, well, what should we name this new version? What should we name it? It's easy to kind of, take some of the design elements and add it to the current G-Wagon. That's easy. You know what I mean? Like, that's easy. The hard part is finding a name, right? What are you going to call it? It's some kind of special edition, sure, but yeah, at the end of the day, you got to decide on something. You got to decide on something. And unfortunately, this is, I don't know, let me know what you guys think about this, but stronger than the 1980s edition. Hey, that's the name. That's the name of it. Let's not get too down on the name, because really, that doesn't even matter, does it? Let's be honest, that doesn't even matter. If you want this classic look, and at the same time you want all the modern features, right? This is kind of the beauty of this special edition, is that, yeah, you kind of get the best of both worlds, don't you? Because you get all the style of the original, including the paint, obviously, including the paint color, and a lot of other details. That's what we're going to cover in this video. But you get all the modern touches that you kind of want and expect nowadays too, especially at this price. We'll talk about the price. Yeah, we'll talk about the price for sure. So, you're probably thinking, well, name aside, this is exactly what I've been looking for. And you might also find this edition appealing because it's very limited. I mean, they're talking 460 units for the entire world. And there's going to be 3 colors too. So we'll talk about the colors. So yeah, I don't know if they're going to be divided equally or what, but there's only going to be like 100 or 200 of each color probably then, right? And so you might be thinking, well, that's really appealing as well because it's going to be so exclusive. Well, it might not be quite as exclusive as you had hoped, because actually back here, if we zoom in, this guy back here, guess what? They already did this. This is kind of like old news, really. They already did this exact kind of, 1980s replica with the previous G-Wagon. So yeah, that's what that thing is hiding in the background. But, let's put those two things aside. This is really a cool addition because, if you really appreciate the G-Wagon for what it is, right? We talked about that, the build quality, how rugged and capable this thing is, but you don't necessarily care about or even want, kind of what the G-Wagon has become, known to become, is like this. Most of these people aren't taking these things off-road, are they? So, it's a status symbol is what it is. Which, is a bit of a shame, isn't it? So, this would be the edition you'd want to get if you want to kind of avoid that. Right? I mean, look at this thing. This makes a statement saying you don't care about any of that. You appreciate what this car is. You appreciate the things about this car that basically all those other people probably don't care about, right? And I just love these little 1980s touches, the amber lights. Yeah, remember that? Everything used to be about function. It's an orange turn signal, right? Why hide it? Like all these modern cars, they hide it, right? It's clear. No, it's not orange, it's clear. It's so fun to kind of see, these details brought back, isn't it? And then the badges as well. So you got the old 1980s style badges. This one on the hood, and then even on the on the rear end, the big Mercedes script. That one there, nice big chunky badge there. Nothing too fancy about it. And then yeah, I really like this like Look at this. For the spare tire. Yeah, you got to keep it covered, but you don't need, some fancy case, right? You just throw a bag on it. Just throw a bag over it. That's all you need. And even just these basic mud flaps, they serve their purpose. That's it. So now, of course, let's talk about price here a little bit. Of course, at the end of the day, this is a German car. And guess what? Guess what? They're going to charge you for all these little accessories. So, if you want this kind of roof rack with this really cool ladder too, this doesn't come with it. You're going to pay a lot of extra money for this stuff, probably even those mud flaps too. And also they have this headlight protector, the kind of that metal grill, all that stuff. Guess what? You got to pay extra for all this stuff. And that's on top of the starting price, which is, hopefully, hopefully you're sitting down for this one. Starting price is 160,000 euros. So whatever that is. It's a lot of money. Actually, it doesn't even matter. Whatever currency you convert that to, it's a lot of money. So, if you're kind of hoping this would be more of a budget model, more of a stripped down model, hey, you're wrong. Hey, you're wrong. Yeah, you're going to have to pay top dollar for this thing, right? And of course, that's probably one of the reasons they want to make this thing so exclusive. But another nice thing you get for all this cash is these wheels. Yeah, you might be thinking these are just like some kind of, base model entry level wheels. No, these are actually unique wheels. So these are exclusive. Can't get these on any other G-Wagon. So yeah, there's going to be 3 colors. Obviously we've been showing the Agave Green. And that's probably the one I would go with, honestly. But yeah, that's kind of interesting. They give a little description on each of these colors. So let's read that out. The earthy green radiates robustness and closeness to nature, and emphasize the outstanding off-road capability of the historical G-Class. The next one here is called Cream. The classic and timeless color exudes a touch of elegance and sophistication and was a popular choice among those who use their G-Class primarily in the city. Ooh, so I don't know. I guess that was the color people went with. The original people who started to kind of see this G-Wagon as a status symbol, even maybe way back in 1980s. So I don't know if that would kind of turn people off of choosing that color, for this retro edition. I don't know. I don't know, probably not, because it is still it doesn't look anything like, your typical G-Wagon nowadays. So it's probably fine. It's probably fine. And then lastly, Colorado Beige. The warm, sandy color conveys a sense of adventure and freedom and emphasized the versatile character of the G-Class in the 1980s. I would say, for sure, 100%. Same with the green, right? It's like both of those colors, this Colorado Beige and the Agave Green, they're similar to actually a lot of colors that, off-road vehicles offer nowadays. They're just like a little bit more saturated, aren't they? They're not so toned down. So I guess that's what gives it that 80s look. Now, if you got the cash for this thing, you like the kind of colors and options on this thing on the outside, well, the last thing you got to make sure you're happy with is the interior, right? So yeah, we get these kind of 80s style plaid seats. It's like a combination seat, right? You got the leather on the outside, nice contrast stitching as well. And yeah, I just love this style. I've always loved this style, especially like in Volkswagens, they do that a lot, Now, the downside here is, we're back at the whole name problem again. And unfortunately, they spelled it out across almost the entire dash here. I guess, hey, you're driving this thing. Hey, you're driving it. I guess it's the passenger that have to stare at it. But yeah, I guess it is kind of a cool style. The way they've done it, you know, into the wood. Everybody who gets in your car is going to ask you, like, what does that mean? Hope you have a good answer for them. So, but anyways, yeah, this, you know, obviously this interior is great. You know, a lot of people say that this modern G-Wagon has the best built interior of any Mercedes, right? I mean, this thing is super solid. You can't move anything in this interior like a millimeter, right? It doesn't budge. And as we talked about, you know, you get all the new modern tech. The only thing I hate is that they put, you can't even really see it in this image, but you know what I'm talking about, especially if you know about kind of these newer Mercedes. They put this, like, the wheel from, like, just the regular sedans in here with this. I hate this design. It's got, like, these curves and these sharp, you know, these sharp transitions. You know, I don't really like it in any Mercedes, but I can kind of see it, you know, in, like, an S-Class or something like that. But in this G-Wagon where everything else is squared off, you know, everything else just has this real chunky, you know, yeah, robust look to it. And then they got this, like, curvaceous steering wheel. I don't know. They needed to put some other kind of wheel in this thing. But, you know, aside from that, you know, it's still a great interior. And aside from this, well, the only other thing is this, you know, limited edition, you know, they're all individually numbered. But again, it's like on the wood here. And isn't that like where you're going to rest your hand? Like when you're using this, aren't you going to like rest your hand? Well, there's the pinky, like here, right? I would think, I would think that would get like rubbed off over time.